Hello. So I'm hoping this is working. I've been having crazy internet connection issues, so it looks like it's starting to kick in. So hey, to my group, I haven't posted in a minute. Reason being, I've been actually doing a lot of work and focus and mindset and marketing and blah, 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 all the stuff that you have to do to get your businesses up and running. So I've been focusing on doing a lot of that to make sure that I really am coming at this group from the best possible place and providing a real service using my skills to actually benefit all the artists that come and look in this group. So you're going to be seeing a lot more live streams, a lot more information over the upcoming months that will be a bit more targeted. So I'm really excited. Actually, I'm really keyed up about it, and so it just making sure that I'm giving the right kind of value to everyone versus what they call like spray and pray, just like throwing it out there like I'm just gonna talk about whatever and hopefully someone will get something. So a little bit more targeted approach. Today I am going to talk about self-sabotage. So lately, especially, and this is kind of what triggered me to really think about where am I going with this group and what service can I offer. I'm seeing a lot more people lately dealing with self-sabotaging behavior. And what self-sabotaging behavior is, and you're all familiar with it, it's when things start to go really well. Things are going great. You're getting all the things that you wanted. You're actually hitting your goals. You're kind of pushing yourself forward. And then something happens that makes it all go to crap. For self-sabotage, a lot of times it's decisions that you're making that make it all go awry. Sometimes the decisions are blatantly obvious to everyone else, like, why would you decide to do that? And sometimes they're not obvious, but they do happen, and you start to wonder, like, what's going on? Why can't I be successful? And then you start your beating up cycle again. So how it looks is you are moving along, you're focused, you're determined, you did all of your positivity work, your friends are encouraging you, you're feeling good, and then you go and you post your art, or you actually present at a gallery showing, or you reach out to a marketing client, or you do a campaign. You do something big. You make a really big push for your art, and it took you a lot of really focus and energy to get out there, but you did it. And after you did it, you actually got great feedback. People noticed your campaign, or you got some money for it, or you got hired. Like you do get great feedback. But then instead of that momentum continuing after a while, sorry for background. My dogs, because it's like 1 billion degrees in Charlotte, North Carolina, just so you know. It's like an oven. So now anytime like anything flies in the house, my dogs are like going crazy. It makes them insane. So anyway, you instead of making progress, instead of the momentum continuing, instead something crazy happens. Your cousin that's always in trouble gets into an accident. Or, oh my gosh, my car breaks down and now I can't get to the gallery showing. Oh my gosh, like all of a sudden this bill came in and I don't know what to do now. And oh my gosh, someone stole my stuff. Oh my gosh, something happened. Oh my gosh, I just did this investment. Oh my gosh, now I get something. Drama, something. And then when that drama happens, you go back to the idea of like, see, I can't make things happen. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. Why did that happen? Oh, woe is me. What am I going to do? Nothing ever seems to work for me. I can't. And then the cycle continues and continues and continues and continues. Because then you get your motivation up again, and then you start again and again and again. So that is actually coming from someplace. No, you are not a loser, and no, you're not incapable of success. Actually, the contrary. when that stuff is happening, especially if you see it happening over and over again, if you are caught up in a cycle, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm always in situations like this. This is not the first time I've dealt with this. I deal with this all the time. Then pay attention. That means something else is going on. As an artist, you already know that you're a manifester. And as a manifester, and you know this because you take ideas, like you come up with ideas that seemingly come from nowhere, but they don't come from nowhere. They come from a collective use of your imagination and you tapping into universal energy. You take ideas and you create a product to represent that idea. Like that idea, that thought doesn't anything. It was just energy in your head until you made a painting or until you wrote a song or until you created some physical like something physical to bring it into the world. You did that. Like you manifested that. You made that into something tangible. So artists tend to understand the concept of manifestation really clearly because you do it every day. But not only do you manifest art projects, you also manifest the things that happen to you. And it goes beyond just the law of attraction. That's only like that first step. It's everything you put out there. So when you have things in your subconscious that you believe about yourself, and everyone has this inner story that you believe about yourself, that you have accepted as true. It's not true, but it's true to you. So you've accepted. If you accept it as true, then you will manifest it as true. That's the thing. And it's not about it being bad or good. Energy doesn't work in terms of bad and good. It's whatever you put out there. So if you accept the story for yourself, then that's the story you're going to get. Even if you consciously know it's a destructive story, even if you decide and you wake up like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to be amazing. Well, that's great that you're saying that, but you don't believe it. You're not believing it in your subconscious. You're saying it. It's like when people, if you've talked to someone who you know isn't telling you the full truth, but they will just keep saying, oh yeah, I know. One of my favorites, and I call out my coaching clients on this. So if you're one of my coaching clients and I'm offering, I just have some space in my calendar, so I'm going to be offering more availability for coaching sessions. I'm going to start a new coaching session in July, just so you all know. But if you're one of my coaching clients, I'm sweet and supportive. I'm super sweet and super supportive, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't lie. And I'm gonna level set with you for real because that's what you're paying me for. You're paying me to be real with you. And the reality is I'll have clients come in and I'll say, hey, this is all you acting out against your parents, and hey, that thing you did, and yeah, it's really showing in how you're manifesting your work. And clients are just like, oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Anytime I have a client that does oh my God, I know. Oh yeah, you're right. I know. You don't know. You're saying that. You're saying it, but really what that tells me when I hear people say, oh, I know, it means I'm not going to deal with it. Subconsciously, that's what they're saying. In acting, we call that the subtext. So this is your life subtext. So you might be saying consciously something, but if that client really knew, if you're my client and you're saying, I know, to everything that I'm telling you, then why haven't you done anything yet? So if you actually knew, then you would have done something at that point. So a lot of times we will say something consciously because we know we're supposed to, but we don't consciously believe it. And if you don't believe it, really, you can't hide from it. You have to actually get it all the way down. And these stories that we tell ourselves, if you're wondering what is the story that you're telling yourself, like what is a subconscious story, if it's subconscious, all you have to do is look at the life you're manifesting. Look at your life. Like, look at your success. Like, if you're not where you'd like to be, that tells you what your inner story is. So if you feel that you're constantly like, oh my gosh, I'm always in drama and I can never get a success and I can never move ahead with my artwork, that's the story you believe. So that's what you're going to manifest each and every single time. And it's constant. I've tested in my own life. I've seen it in other people's lives, and it's true. And no one can succumb to it. The stories you are telling yourself is what you're going to manifest. So anytime, I also meet people that are like, oh, I am not a good manifester. Yeah, you are. You're just manifesting things you don't like right now, but you're a fabulous manifester. Look around. You're getting all the things that you have put together in your story. I love it. People are like, how do I become a better manifester? Oh my gosh, I wish I could manifest money. You're a fabulous manifester. You're just manifesting all this crap you don't want right now, but you're doing it. So change your story. So where self-sabotage comes in is it's the story that you are creating for yourself and you believe it. You're believing it. And I did the same thing for you. I do it. I'm human. I do it myself. If you are going through life saying, gosh, I really wish I could make my art my career. I really wish I could do that, but I can't. Okay, great. If you can't, that's the story you're accepting. And the universe will comply. Even if you go ahead and you make strides and you start working forward and you start making progress and you start putting it out there, if you truly believe that I can't make a living of my art, then just when you start moving ahead, everything will fall apart because it's giving you what you want. So the important thing is you got to change your story. You really need to change your story wholeheartedly all throughout and really understand. And no, it's not magic mojo. This isn't about magic, juju, mojo. It's about figuring out why you came up with this story. Who put the story there for you? Like, how did you come up with you can't make a living out of your art? There are people that make a living of their art. That's a thing that people do. That's a real thing that people do. They get paid and they pay their bills and they go about their lives doing their art, whatever their art projects is. That is a real thing. I know a ton. Like, I know in my coaching clients and my friend circle, there are people that get paid to do XYZ art. I just heard about, and I hope, in my head, I'm like, they're going to hear about me and they're going to be my client because I'm putting it out there. There's a woman I just saw a video about. This is amazing. She gets paid to make wings for a living. How amazing is that? That's a thing, though. That's a thing that's happening right now. She's getting paid for this. There are people that get paid to make things out of paper. So having someone say like, oh, well, I can't make a living off that. If that's a story you're accepting, then you're right. You're not. So another way you can see what story is also, if you're wondering what story you subconsciously believe for yourself, pay attention to the words you say and the words you say to yourself. Pay attention to your dialogue. I am blown away how many times I will be talking with someone and they will say things like, gosh, but everyone's out to get me. Oh gosh, I just can't catch a break. Oh man, I'm never gonna make it. I'm never gonna get I'm never gonna get this job. And they say it over and over and over again. Or, gosh, I'm never gonna get a boyfriend. No one ever loves me. And if you keep saying it, then you believe it. And it's not just a matter of like, well, fine, I won't say it anymore. But you believe it. You believe it. That's why you're saying it. And if you're not saying it out loud, you're saying it in your mind. You're saying it every day. What story are you telling yourself and accepting as true? Are you accepting as true that I'm always going to have 20 jobs? I'm never going to be able to make a living doing this. I'm never going to do this. Who planted that story in your head? Was it your parents? Was it a teacher? Was it a cultural book? Who planted that idea in your head? That's where you need to start changing your story and changing the dialogue that you have with yourself. And the thing is, even if you're listening to it right now, if you're listening to this video, you're like, oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. If you're doing one of this, just listening to it, that's fine. If you know it, great. Then you're well on your way. But you're going to keep manifesting whatever it is you put out there until you figure out how to clear it. You need to change your story. Clear the blocks that are holding you back and change your story and watch your life change. Now, the other thing that, God, and this is so unfortunate. So when someone does have success, maybe they started off doing a hobby and the hobby is taken off and, they got in a local paper, they got some marketing, and suddenly, like practically overnight, they find themselves famous and making a fortune. That does happen quite a bit. We hear stories about it. You hear stories about people who are like, I'm an overnight success. And for the record, every overnight success usually has a few years of work behind it. But all of a sudden they went from being unknown to everybody knows you. And all of a sudden all the money's coming in. And after a few months a few years, you hear about them losing it all or making some crazy decision or getting caught doing something that they shouldn't have been doing, that they know they should have been doing because it's illegal. You hear this time and time again. And what that is that was that person's limit for themselves of how much that they can have. Now, there's an excellent book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap, and I tell everyone to read it. If you haven't read it, you should read it. And he calls it an upper limit problem. And the upper limit problem is based on the stories you tell. Well, I'm adding that part. It's based on the stories that you tell yourself. But an upper limit problem is every person has their own inner thermostat of how much happiness, joy, success, abundance that they feel that they're entitled to, that they're allowed to have. And so when they get close to that point, they will do something to reset and knock themselves back down. Because they're like, oh, it's getting too hot. I'm getting too successful. I better knock myself down a couple points. That's what that is. I add the mindset work to it because you can tell yourself every day, I'm going to be okay. You can do the meditation every day. Like I'm going to open myself up. I'm going to raise my upper limit problem. But it comes from a subconscious level too, because that story was installed at some point and you believe it wholeheartedly. So until you start clearing out those things that you have accepted as true that are blocking you from your success, and that gets into some really, really, really deep soul searching work. Like, why do I believe this? And where did this come from? Until you do that, it's going to be an uphill battle all the time. It's just going to keep cycling. It's so exhausting. And maybe that's part of your story. I mean, have you thought about that? If you keep seeing people go through that, if you read the stories in the tabloids and the media about how when you get famous, you're actually miserable and then you lose everything and you're never going to be happy. If you hear that and you accept that as true, then why do you think that you're going to allow yourself that level of success if you think it's going to make you miserable? I mean, think about it. If that's something that you accept as a true thing for humans, that, more money, more problems, and, as you get to that level of success, and everything's going to fall apart, and your spouse is going to leave, your family's going to leave you, everyone's going to steal your money. If you believe that throughout your being, then you're not going to let yourself be successful. Unless you, and even if you are a sadomasochist, I'm not a psychologist, so do you like my paint? That's my lady painting that I made years ago. And she inspires me, so I keep her in there. But if that's the story you're telling with, human beings don't do things to hurt them, like they know is going to hurt them. So even if the outcomes you're getting are hurting you, deep down, you are using them as a way to help yourself. And that's hard. That's a really complex thing. So even things are hurtful. Like, this is why people drink, and this is why people do drugs and take substances, and it's not helping them, but they're using them as tools to cope, because that's the only way they can come up with how to cope with the world. So in that mindset, in that idea, they're using it to help themselves. It's not helping, but that's the only way they know how. Or if you're in a dysfunctional relationship and you don't know another way to be in relationship with other people and to heal yourself and to really have connection. You want connection, but if you don't know any other way, you're going to fall back to the patterns that you know, because in a really messed up way, oh, that's how I know to help myself. That's part of your story. That's part of your story. That's the idea of, it's kind of like if you have been without money for a very long time and you're getting like student loans or you're getting assistance and you're getting help, and you've been taught, don't make too much money or else you're going to lose your student loan. Don't make too much money or else you're going to lose your assistance. So on the one hand, I really think about that. Don't make too much money or you're going to lose all the help you need because you don't make a lot of money. And I would hear that from people, not necessarily from my family, but other people are going through, like, oh, don't make too much money or else they're going to come get you. Well, I mean, if you keep thinking that, you're never going to allow yourself to make money. You're never going to allow yourself to get out of this situation. Like, every day you're going to be walking around looking for money and needing help because you have convinced yourself, oh, don't work too hard. Don't get too successful or else. What's the story that you are telling yourself? So this is where self-sabotage comes in. The stories that you are telling yourself. And it's not as easy as I use a mantra every single day and I just tell it. You can. And it is possible to do that. You have to say it a lot because it's got to not only get to your conscious brain. You've got to take it all the way down to remove all of those old patterns and the old scripts that you're playing that come out when you least expect it. You can't hide from it. You can try to hide from it, but you can't just say the same thing. I can say something over and over till I'm blue in the face, but deep down, when I'm faced with it, I will believe it. And that's it will shift from doing really deep, honest work with yourself of what do I really believe about myself? What do I truly believe about my abilities? What do I truly believe about being loved? And what do I truly believe about my ability to put my work in the world? What do I truly believe is possible for me? It's not about just giving lip service and saying the same mantra over and over and over again. Because you can say something and not believe it. People lie to themselves all the time. You have to really clear away all that patterning. And when you do that, you'll be able to stop the self-sabotage. You'll be able to catch it and be like, wait, no, we're not doing this. I don't have to do this. And not only that, when you start to clear those things away, and this, you guys, this is the most magical thing. I'm currently seeing it right now in my life. It's the most magical, amazing thing. Not only when you start changing the story and start really tackling those big, deep blocks that you have and those really deep issues, and when you start moving them away, not only when it's not even that you see yourself in those same patterns and you can you can start to change them, you actually attract amazing new opportunities. Like stuff comes to you. It actually, you don't even have to go looking for it. You don't have to try to convince yourself, oh, this is that pattern again. Wonderful opportunities start magically appearing and popping like that. You don't even have to do anything for them. And I know that sounds too good to be true. I swear, I get it. I know it sounds too good to be true. But it's not. You really just start changing. You're clearing away the room for the vibration to just come to you. And have you seen people like you've known people and you've heard people like, gosh, they are just magic and enchanted and blessed. Like everything seems to work out for them because they have figured out how to change the story. So they know they're worthy of it. They know that they are valuable. They know their self-worth. They know that they know in every corner of their being. They know it. So not only do they not have to deal with self-sabotage, they attract amazing things every day and then don't shoo them away because they expected it. They're like, I expect it to happen. That's really hardcore. Like that, you don't have to self-sabotage. And until you really get honest with yourself, until you start to see these patterns, like if you find yourself like, why does this always happen to me? Because you're bringing it, because you're manifesting it. So if it always happens to you, analyze why. What's the story you're telling yourself? Even you saying it always happens to me. So write it down and journal it and do some healing work around it. I think I'll do that next, a live stream on my favorite healing modality. I'm really big on EFT, but there's a lot of different other ones that people can use to heal those blocks, and traditional therapy too. But you have to be honest with yourself that this is how you truly think. You have to be honest with yourself about your shame and your guilt and your feelings of unworthiness. You have to get down that deep. It's messy. I warn you now, it's messy work. Lots of tears and snot coming down your face. But you can't hide from it if you're ready for your big success leap. There really is, because it's just energy. It's going to go where it goes. And it doesn't determine, energy isn't good or bad. It just says, okay, if that's what you want. Okay, if you can only handle this much success, okay, if that's what you want. Okay, if you can never make it past a certain point, okay, if that's what you want. If your family's always going to come after you and steal your money, okay, then that's what's going to happen. Because when you change the story, you start making different decisions and different opportunities come into you. So these two things together change your life. Change your whole life in a way that you need to know that you deserve to have it changed. Because when people start freaking out about having money, it's because deep down they don't feel like they deserve all that money. It never occurred to them that they'd be allowed to have all that money, that it overwhelms them to have all that money and all that success. They don't feel worthy of it. They don't feel that they can handle their finances. You are more than capable of handling your art business. Yeah, you are. You're more than capable of hiring assistants. You're more than capable of getting help. You're more than capable of having that amazing success that you've always dreamed of. You're an artist. When you dream of things, you make them happen. So if that is your goal and your dream, yeah, you're more than capable of having it. But there's a story inside you that is telling you that you can't. And I'm here to tell you, you 100% can. You can have any story that you want. Any story that you want. I fully believe this. I've seen it. I have it in my own life. I see it in other people's life. I see it in my coaching clients' lives every single day. Every day. So what story are you telling yourself? And if you don't know, look at the times you have self-sabotaged. Look at the things in your life. Look at where you want to be and where you're currently. And there is the story that you're telling yourself. It's helpful to work with someone you can do it on your own. It takes work. I myself have made great strides with the work I did for myself. I make a lot faster, bigger, more solid strides when I work with the right coach or therapist. Like whatever I need at that moment. Right now I'm working with this baller mindset coach, and for myself, like I'm doing this too. I'm not telling you anything that I don't believe for myself and that I'm not doing myself. So working with a coach, do it, consider it. You wouldn't go to anything else that you were unsure about without a guide. So yeah, you can make great strides. So yeah, so this is what why I've been hiding out, looking at like how can I serve my clients better? How can I serve you better? And that's what all these live stream series are going to be. I'm opening up to coaching to really get deeper with people. So now I can do like more coaching sessions. I was only doing kind of coaching sessions before, but now to get really serious about it because people need it. They need it so bad. And if it's not me, you'll find the right one. That's the thing. You'll vibe on me if what you hear me saying, I fully believe the right people come if you're authentic and put it out there. So you head on over to, I'll put the link in there of my Teachable page and you can sign up, and we start a new round in July. I'm so excited. But yeah, just, you don't have to sabotage your success. It's not a requirement. Just because humans tend to do it, you can have a different way. And you are more than capable of having all the love and joy and success of waking up every day and doing what you do and do well. And the world needs you to. That's why you do it. Your special gifts are what the world needs at any given moment. So don't deny that, like, over a story that's not even true. It's true because you accept it, but it's not true. And you don't have to accept it anymore. So that is today's live stream. Self-sabotage. There is better. You can have better. You can do there's more out there. So hope this helped. I'm going to do more live streams. If you guys have a live stream topic that you'd like me to talk about in terms of mindset for coaching creatives, or just in general, if you just want to chat with me about something, whatever. I love people. I love to talk. And I love to listen too. So if there is a topic you want, go ahead, pop it in this group and we'll make it happen. So until our next live stream, I'm so excited to be back with this group. I feel like I have neglected it, so I apologize. I've neglected it so much, but that changes today. So nothing but love for you. You guys are amazing. Keep on creating, keep on being awesome, and I will talk to you later. Bye.